and we're in Anaheim, California. We're at a place called the Business Expo Center. Really important venue right next to Disneyland, and I'm happy to be here. We're going to do a program today that's going to be an abbreviated version of a one-day seminar called Selling Below the Price Line. Now, you might ask yourself, what does that mean, selling below the price line? I'm already giving my products and services away. I can't take any more discount. Well, in reality, this is the exact opposite. We're going to talk about how you can sell products and services and not give up another dime of money that should be hitting your bottom line, and having the customer happy to get out the credit card or the checkbook. So we're going to begin by taking a look at what this program actually means. If you look up here at the screen, you're going to see that it says Selling Below the Price Line Introduction, and you have a graphic here which is of an iceberg. And I like this metaphor because let's just pretend for a moment that we were selling icebergs. 90% of your product would be under the water. So how are you going to get a customer to agree to pay the full value for something he or she can't see more than 10% of? And that's the big problem in today's economy. We're trying to sell things at the same price we were selling them 6, 7, 8 years ago. People can't see the value anymore because there are folks out there willing to give away whatever they're selling at cost just for the cash flow or just to move the merchandise. And a lot of companies, including some of the big box retail stores, will literally take a loss on a product to get somebody in the store. How do you compete against that? I'm going to show you, and it's called Selling Below the Price Line. Now, what we're going to look at are some of the things this program includes. We're not going to cover them all here today in this abbreviated version, but typically this program would have an introduction. We'd talk a little bit about obstacles, meaning what is it about customers that throw up obstacles for us as salespeople. Then we're going to talk about solutions, familiarity, and assumptions, more about the psychology of the buy-sell relationship, a little bit about attitude, something about the buyer psychology, and more importantly, value perceptions. Very, very critical in this seminar. And then we're going to look at a sales track, a 5-step sales track, which I'll share with you at the very end. First thing I want to do is I want to ask you to look at this graphic and tell me if you can find the star that's hidden in it. There's a star hidden in this graphic. And if you see it, just raise your hand. The further away you are, the easier it is to see, so you might have a better shot at it. And while you're looking for it, let's just discuss a couple of realities. Number one, do you know what you're looking for? I called it a star. I have no idea what kind of star you're searching for, but the odds are pretty good it's not the one that's there. Why can I say that? Because there's so many different ways to make a star. There's the star like on the U.S. flag or the Cowboys helmets. There's a star that you'd make with 3 little lines. And then there's a star that we do with the quick pen thing and on writing on paper. Next thing I want you to consider is, why is it even important? Well, here's the reason why. This graphic represents what the average person's day looks like by 10 a.m. They have got all the chaos they can handle. They've got all the challenges they can handle. They've got stuff that didn't get done yesterday, stuff that didn't get done the day before, and stuff from last week, new stuff that was on the table today, and they're thinking about tomorrow. Now, you come along with a great idea. It could be a product, it could be a service, could be a combination of both, might even be a career opportunity. You're the star in this mess. Can anybody see it? Okay, I got note takers. Let's see what we can do if we push the button. The star suddenly appears, but you'd have to know what you're looking for in order to see it. And that is the basis upon which this program was built. The idea that we have something of value is only as good as the person's ability to see it. And it's got to be illustrated, it's got to be sold. When somebody stands in front of me and says, I've got the latest, greatest thing you've ever heard of, you got to hear this. I'll listen for 2 or 3 minutes, and if I can't see that star in the middle of that conversation, my mind just tunes out. Out of courtesy, I'll continue to stand there, but I'm not hearing anything. And that's the way it is today. We've really got to illustrate the value we bring to the table. So the star is there. If I made it go away, do you think you could find it again? We can try that. You know where it is, and it's still hard to see. Am I right? I've had people look at this and say it disappeared. But there it is, where it always was. And that is the way it is with us. We've got a great product. We've got a great service. We need to find a way to get the customer to see. Below the price line is all about summing up this word value. And what is value? If you talk about value in terms of what you get for what you pay, how many of us really know what the value is? If I'm shopping for a car, do I really know if a Bentley is worth $170,000? I pretty much know that a Toyota is worth $17,000. I wonder why that is. Because I understand enough about cars to know that for $17,000 you get an engine, a transmission, and a seat, and a steering wheel. And that's really all I need. But what's that $175,000 buying me? Where's the star in that equation? Somebody would have to be very educated and very willing to talk to me for a long time to get me to part with that much money. Yes, there is the psychological factor of how cool I'm going to look driving that car. But when it comes right down to it, people only spend money for one of three reasons: look good, feel good, or solve a problem. Now, a Bentley helps you look good, no doubt about it. Probably helps you feel good if you really need it. And it definitely solves a problem. You've got a ride. I have a Toyota that does the exact same thing. And I got it for $150,000 less. So value is a personal perception. Now, here are the three reasons, once again, why people spend money. And I'm going to throw them up here quickly so we don't spend too much time on this. But every one of us in the room, when we buy anything, we either buy it to look good, we buy it to feel good, or we buy it to solve a problem. And a lot of times we're doing all three things at once. So if we were to look and see the things we bought in the past 1 year, a suit, it helps you look good, it helps you feel good, and it solves a problem. You've got to be slightly dressed up for this event, shall we say. All right, so those are things. Now, when you go to buy a diamond ring for a lady, shall we say, do you really know what you're getting? How do you know whether it's worth $10,000 or $2,000? What do you really know about what you're buying? So we tend to depend on the people who are telling us where the value is, and they're helping illustrate that star and that confusion that we bring to the table. That's our job. We've got to first recognize that there is confusion, and then we've got to devote ourselves to making clear what our value proposition really is. Value is a balance. Any psychologist will tell you this. And by the way, all of us sitting in this room right now buy things based on what you're looking at. Your wallet comes out of your purse or your pocket when this scale balances. So what's this scale mean? Well, to begin with, value is not known to the average person. So if I'm talking to you about buying something and you suddenly say, where do I sign? The magic in that statement is that you saw the value before I even illustrated what it was. So there's something to be said for an educated customer. Most customers aren't that educated. We've got to ask them what value is. We've got to ask them, does that have value for you? Is there any reason in this that you'd buy this? And if you're very good about how you ask that question, not only do you gain the customer's respect, you gain their trust. Because you're giving them a chance to say, no way am I going to pay that kind of money for this product. Understand, got it. So let's talk about how high it is. How much too much is this product? 80%. So what does that tell me? It tells me that, number one, you don't see the star in the mess. Number two, I'm really not doing a good job of illustrating the value if you really feel that the value is only 20% there. But again, I go back to my original illustration. If I'm selling icebergs and I want you to pay for the whole thing and 90% of it's not visible to you, we're going to have a tough time striking a deal. And that's the way it is with so many of the things we buy. When the value equals the cost, the customer will buy. Think about the last time you bought anything. When you're asking for a discount, why is that? In my world, I usually ask for a discount, number one, because I think I can get it, and at least it covers the sales tax. But more importantly, number two, I ask because I really don't think what I'm buying is worth the price they're asking for it. So rather than have that person explain where the value is, I come up with this idea of simply reducing the price.